welcome to my kitchen. I'm Akshata and you are watching Akshata's recipes. The theme of my channel is to keep it simple, quick yet delicious. So like all my other recipes, today's recipe too is going to be very simple to make, few ingredients, and the end result is going to be really delicious where you're going to want to make it again and again. So let's get started with today's recipe. So let's begin with today's beautiful recipe of patoles. Now here I've taken about 2 cups of rice, washed it well, and we're going to soak it for at least 10 hours. These are some haldi leaves that I have, in my garden. Some of them are small, some of them are big. And here I'm just going to be grinding about 2 cardamoms to a very fine powder, cardamoms or elaichi. I'll just take them off the pod and I'm going to make them into a very fine powder. So now let's prepare the coconut and jaggery filling. So here I have exactly 1 cup of freshly grated coconut, 1 cup of Goa jaggery, which is the dark jaggery, also known as palm sugar, and the elaichi or cardamom that I just ground. Now, if you don't get the Goa jaggery, the nearest thing to it is this dark palm sugar that you get. And otherwise, you can just use regular, jaggery, that is the light brown color. If you don't have access to the Goa jaggery, it's fine. Now we just have to mix these 3 ingredients on a very low to medium flame. And you will see that the coconut oozes out its oil, as well as the jaggery just starts to melt and everything just comes together. So this should take you about 2 minutes or 3 minutes on a low to medium flame, where everything starts coming together. So now just take this mixture, this filling out, and we'll keep it aside to cool. Now let's get on with making our rice paste. So now I'm going to drain out all the water from the rice that we soaked for about 10 to 12 hours. This is very important if you want to get a nice rice paste. So even overnight is also good enough. And now we're just going to add a pinch of salt. And we're going to grind this to a very thick paste. It's almost like a thick, fevicol or gluish consistency. Now I'm just going to pat dry my haldi or saffron leaves well, or turmeric leaves, and we are going to just apply this mixture. Now we don't want a very thick paste, we don't want a very thin paste also, so it should just be evenly spread out and not very thick, not very thin. So 1 coat of the paste, not too or not very fine. And this paste is so easy, it's very easy to work with. So just apply it, and then we're just going to put this filling, onto the paste. Now some of the leaves are really very small because they're from my garden. So I'm putting them, right in the middle. But if the bigger leaves, you can put it onto one side. And just fold it over like this. You can take out all the extra rice paste that comes off and all the excess filling that might come off. And in this way, we'll just, do the same thing with the rest of the leaves. And now I've prepared my steamer and I've wetted a muslin cloth and just kept it on top of the straining part of the steamer. And then I'm just going to put these patoles to steam. Now we have to steam this on a medium to high flame for exactly 15 minutes. That's very important. And then let the steamer completely cool down before you open it up to check on the patoles. So put a timer on your phone or your watch for about 12 to 15 minutes, and then let the steamer completely cool till you're able to open it with your hands. It should be completely cool, and there friends, your patoles are all ready. The aroma of these turmeric leaves, just filled up my home like anything, and the flavor of the leaves just went all over, into the patoles, and every bite was just divine. I know the leaves are really small, but they are like, organic because they're from my garden. And the thing is that I realized that, if I keep the leaves for a very long time, then they wilt away and dry away. So I use them up. And now I just peel the leaves away and look at the beautiful pattern of the leaves. The veins of the leaves have come onto the patpoyos. And you can see that the leaf has become transparent completely because all of that lovely flavor has passed on to the beautiful patpoyos. And then it's going to go, directly into your tummy, all the beautiful flavors. And they look so dainty and they look so beautiful. Now in Goa, they normally make it during the feast of Alle, Day of Assumption, because it resembles, folded hands or hands in prayer. So that is one of the significance. So friends, enjoy this delight and have it, nice when it's fresh and just out of the steamer. Everybody, and welcome back to Akshita's Recipes. Thank you so much for stopping by. Well, today's recipe is another Goan delight. It is actually an anytime snack or a tea time snack, and it's called alle, belle, which are basically these light crepes or pancakes that are filled with this lovely jaggery and coconut filling. It's very simple to make. It gets ready in minutes, and the ingredients are very simple, ingredients that you always have in your kitchen or your pantry. My grandmother used to make this for me mostly on Pancake Tuesdays, but she used to also make it for me whenever the ingredients were available at home and whenever I was really very hungry and wanted something sweet. So I hope you like today's recipe, and if you do, then don't forget to give it a big like. Don't forget to hit the red subscribe button that you see below this video, and share Akshita's recipes with family and friends. And of course, once you've subscribed, don't forget to click the bell, so that way you'll get messages whenever I put up a new recipe on my channel. I have a whole playlist dedicated to Goan recipes. There's loads and loads of Goan recipes, Christmas recipes, Easter recipes, and just general Goan curries and fish fries and everything. So you can just go to my homepage, go to the playlist section, and just search for the Goan playlist. You'll have loads of recipes there, and I'm going to be coming up with many, many more too. So friends, let's get started with this amazing alle belle. So we're going to start by making this lovely jaggery and coconut filling. The ingredients for this are 2 tablespoons of water, 2 tablespoons of jaggery, you can use sugar instead, 1.5 cup of fresh coconut grated, half a teaspoon of elaichi or cardamom powder. I have a recipe for this cardamom powder. I'll leave it in the description box below. So we're going to heat a pan and add 2 tablespoons of water. To that, we're going to add our jaggery or our ghul, and we're going to mix all of this very, very well together till the jaggery completely dissolves in the water. You can do the same with the sugar if you're opting to use sugar. So once everything gets nice and mixed and dissolved, we get a kind of a caramel liquid. You're going to do this on a low to medium flame, not on a very high flame. And once you come to this consistency, you're going to add 1.5 cup of fresh coconut which has been grated. And now we're going to mix all of this very well together because we want the lovely jaggery liquid to coat the coconut very well and fry it a bit. Now I'm going to add this homemade elaichi powder or cardamom powder. Like I said before, there is a recipe for this. I will leave a link below on how to make your homemade cardamom powder. And to elevate the taste of this dish, I'm going to add a few teaspoons of this clarified butter or homemade ghee. And we're going to fry all of this very well together till it gets a lovely golden brown color. This filling, you can eat it by itself. It's so very, very delicious. So you're going to fry this for some time, for at least about a minute or two on a low to medium flame, till you get that lovely caramelized golden brown color. And then once that's done, you're just going to keep it aside in a bowl to come to room temperature. And now it's time to make these beautiful crepes or pancakes, which are really light and really, really delicious. So for this, we require very few ingredients which we have regularly in our kitchen pantry. Now here is 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour maida. You can use whole wheat flour too. Half a teaspoon of baking powder. 3/4 cup of regular sugar. You can also use icing sugar or ground sugar. This is half a cup of milk. Now your milk has to either be cold or it has to be at room temperature. Don't use very hot milk. 1/4 cup of water. Same goes with the water. It should be either cold or at room temperature. The reason being we're going to be using an egg also in this recipe. So 1 egg and 1/3 cup of melted butter. And of course, a little pinch of salt. So let's begin making this amazing crepes or pancakes. So I take the flour in a bowl. First, we're going to mix all the dry ingredients. So to this, I'm going to be adding my baking powder, my salt to taste. I think I'm going with 1/4 teaspoon. The sugar. And we're going to mix all these dry ingredients well together. Give them a nice thorough mix. Now for the wet ingredients, I'm going to first beat the egg in a separate bowl. Now we're going to add the milk as well as the butter and give it a nice whisk. Now we're going to add our dry ingredients to this wet mixture. And we're going to give everything a good mix. Now we're going to add a little water at a time because we want a little runny kind of a consistency. So just add a little at a time till you get a nice smooth consistency for these crepes. We don't want a very thick dosa kind of consistency, a little lighter than a dosa. So it should be this very runny and smooth texture. So now we're going to heat a pan. I'm using a cast iron pan. You can use a regular pan or a non-stick pan, just a wide one. Now I'm going to brush it with a little bit of clarified butter, just a little bit of it. Just coat the pan evenly. Your pan has to be nice and hot. Again on a low to medium flame. And now I'm just going to be pouring about 2.5 ladles of this mixture at the center of the pan. And you'll see that it immediately starts to bubble. And now holding the handle, you're just going to swirl the pan around till the liquid nicely spreads out evenly, because we want a very thin kind of crepe. So just ensure that, you keep doing that till all of the liquid spreads out. And then you'll find these little holes or bubbles at the surface of the crepe. And once the edges start becoming golden brown, you just flip it over and just fry it for about half a minute on the other side. And once done, just take it out and keep it in a plate. So with the amount of ingredients I'm using, I get exactly 4 of these alle belle or stuffed pancakes. And now is the fun part, which is the assembling of this lovely alle belle. Now, you take a plate and you place this crepe or pancake on the plate. You take a little bit of the filling, place it in the center, and just with your fingers, just even it out into a kind of a sausage or something like in the middle. And this is the way you're going to fold it. So you fold it and then you seal up the edges and tightly roll up the crepe. And there your pancake is ready. Now, you can, if you want a little paler look to it, you can put the brown side on the inside and then put the filling on that side. If you want it even more tastier, you can just drizzle a little bit of melted clarified butter. And this is how you fold it and tightly roll it in. It's very elastic, so it will not tear. And in this way, you make your lovely stuffed Goan pancakes. Now do watch the video till the end, because I am going to be showing you a particular Goan tradition that we follow in the month of August. So this is how I made all the 4 crepes. This is even a great tiffin item to give your kids. It's so healthy and so delicious. You can always substitute the maida or the all-purpose flour with whole wheat flour and make it even more healthier. So do let me know if you all add anything more to the filling to make it even more delicious. And there, friends, your lovely alle belle or stuffed Goan pancakes are ready. They go best with a nice hot cup of tea. So do try out this recipe and do let me know how you like it. It's one of my favorite tea time recipes. So friends, let's prepare this lovely Goan shevyo. Now I'm using Goan boiled rice or ukdi sheet, but you can use parboiled rice, you can use normal rice. I've taken 1 cup of this rice and I'm going to put it into a bowl, and then I'm going to wash it really well under water till I get nice clear water. And then I'm going to soak this in 3 cups of water overnight, or at least for 8 to 9 hours. That's very important. If you want to get the shevyo right, you have to soak it for that much time. Now let's prepare this lovely coconut and Goan jaggery or jaggery mixture. So here I've taken 3/4 cup of Goan jaggery, which is also palm jaggery. It's a darkish color. If you don't have that, you can use regular gur or jaggery or gur. Now I've taken about 7 to 8 cardamoms or elaichis. I'm just going to peel them. Don't throw away the peel. You can add it to your morning tea when you're boiling your tea. It adds a lovely flavor. So I'm going to just pound this cardamom in my mortar and pestle to get a very fine powder. We require about 1 teaspoon of cardamom or elaichi powder for this recipe. So you can also use the ready-made powder, or you can make your own powder. I like making my own powder because the flavor and the aroma is just amazing. So I'm going to add this to the grated gourd or jaggery, and now I'm going to add 1 cup of freshly grated coconut. The fresher the coconut, the better it tastes. And now mix everything so well that there's no white of the coconut to be seen at all. It should be a completely dark brown mixture like this. So you can set this aside. Now after waiting patiently for 8 to 9 hours or overnight, I'm going to now remove all the water from this rice and I'm going to transfer it to a mixer jar. I'm going to add just 1/4 cup of water because we want a very thick paste. So I'm going to grind this to a thick paste, but the paste should not be dry. It should be nice and soft to touch and very, very smooth. So now I'm just greased a plate with some oil. You can also put ghee, and I'm just going to put all of this mixture into that plate. This plate should be able to fit into your steamer. So now I'm going to place this in the steamer and steam it only for 10 to 12 minutes, not too much, because we want a soft dough. We don't want to overcook it. And now when it's done, while it is hot itself, I'm going to put it into my sheviyo maker. Now I'm just using this small one that I have at home, which I use to make chaklis and shev, etc. If you have the traditional one, then use that. That is the best. And then just make these lovely noodles, rice noodles, and they're ready to eat because it's already steamed. So just put them in a circular manner like this. You can also drizzle some nice clarified butter or ghee on top of it and have it while it's steaming hot with this lovely Goan jaggery or jaggery and coconut mixture. So please try out this recipe. It's really, really delicious. It's so yummy and just, just out of this. So friends, let's start with today's beautiful recipe. Now let me take you through the ingredients. So here I have half a cup of chana dal, which I've soaked in 1 cup of water for 2 hours after washing it well under water. Now this is 1 cup of grated goa jaggery. Now this is how it looks for those of you who are not familiar with the goa jaggery. It comes in little pyramids like this. And it's really has a very different taste and it's really delicious. Now here I'm going to use about 10 jackfruit leaves for the quantity that I'm making. Now you have to wash the leaves really well and wipe them completely dry, and you have to also use very large leaves like this with a little bit of the stem. Aren't they lovely? Really fresh and nice. They come all the way from Goa, thanks to Nilesh and Deepa again. Now here I have 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder. So I've used about 5 small pods of cardamom, 1 cup freshly grated coconut. So those are our main ingredients. So now let's begin with the recipe. So after I soaked the dal for about 2 hours, I'm now going to cook the dal in about 2 cups of water for 15 minutes till the dal is nice and soft. So you can test it after 15 minutes and just check with a spoon. You should be able to easily mash up the dal like this. And now I'm just going to drain off all the excess water and keep it aside till it cools down. And then I'm just going to mash it up with my fingers because I want a kind of a coarse paste. I don't want a very fine smooth paste. So you don't need to run this through the mixer. And then just transfer it to a bowl and set it aside. Now we're going to do the filling. We're going to prepare the filling. So now I've taken a pan. I've just heated up the pan. Now to the pan, I'm going to be adding about half cup of water, that is room temperature water. To that, I'm going to add the grated goa jaggery. And we're just going to stir this on a low to medium flame till all of this jaggery just, melts. So just keep stirring it. It will start to bubble a bit like this. But ensure that all of the jaggery is nicely, dissolved. Sorry for the steam that's coming onto my camera lens. Now once all of the jaggery is nice and dissolved, we're going to add our freshly grated coconut. Mix the coconut in really well. And now we're going to add our mashed up chana dal. So the chana dal, what it does, it adds to the body of the mixture, the filling, and it also helps to thicken the mixture as well as adding to the lovely taste. And now we're going to mix all of this together. We just have one more ingredient to add to make this even more delicious. So mix all of this really well together. Now you can always make the filling a day before you plan to make the Holles. And now we're just going to add this lovely cardamom powder, which gives it a lovely taste as well as a lovely aroma too. So now we're going to just cook this on a very low to medium flame till it starts to thicken. So you will see in about 5 or 7 minutes, the mixture starts to thicken, and now you can put the flame off and our mixture is ready. So you can just transfer this to a bowl and set it aside. So this is our lovely filling or mixture all ready. Now we're going to work on preparing these beautiful cones made out of this lovely jackfruit leaves. It's a super simple process. So let me just take you through them. So I prepared some cones in advance and I said I'll just keep about 4 leaves to show you all the procedure. So now ensure that there are no holes or anything in the leaf. The leaf is nice and thick and fresh. Now just take it in this manner. So take the one without the stem and just put it towards the stem. And then you're just going to insert a small toothpick or a matchstick, something just to seal this up. So what I did is I took toothpicks, I just broke them up into 2 halves, and that's our cone already. I'll just show you a few more. So you can even prepare these cones and keep them on a particular day. Keep them in the refrigerator so that they don't discolor. Prepare your filling on one day, and then we can just prepare the remaining, and you can have these lovely Holles whenever you feel like. And these leaves are so easy to work with because they're nice and thick, so they don't tear and they don't break. I was just waiting to show you all this recipe. All I needed were the jackfruit leaves and the Godache Bhakri. So now all our leaves are nice, and all our cones rather are all nice and prepared. So now we can work on the rice paste. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add hot water. So to 1.5 cup of rice flour, it took me about 1 cup and a little more, about 2 to 3 tablespoons more of hot water. Now you're going to use hot water and we're going to mix this really well. First I mixed it with the spoon, but then I found using my fingers or my hands are much better because then you can feel the texture and you can know whether you want to add more water. So you need this very thick kind of a paste. It should not be runny and it should not be too thick like a dough. Now in the meantime, I'm also preparing my steamer. So I filled it up with water and now I've taken a damp kerchief, that is a men's handkerchief, just dampened it or wetted it under water, and I'm just placing it. I'm going to cover the lid and I'm going to keep it on a very low flame for about 5 minutes till the water in the steamer starts to boil and the steamer gets ready. So now we're going to line these cones. We're going to just wet our fingers a bit. It makes the work easier. Just dip your fingers in some water, regular temperature water, and we're going to apply the paste like this. So we don't want a very thick layer. We want a very thin layer. It's very easy to work with, guys. Don't worry. But just see that your paste is not very runny. If it is runny, then just add a little more of the rice flour and make your paste nice and thick like this. And then just apply it to a very, very thin layer to the sides like that. And just smoothen it out with your fingers. The water does help to smoothen it out, and that's it. It's all ready. Now we're just going to add a little. Now all the rice flour has been added, so we're just going to add this lovely jaggery and coconut filling. You can add as little or as much as you like. Don't add it right up to the top. Keep about a little space on the top, because we're going to seal it again with the rice paste, because we're looking for a cone shaped lovely steam cake. And now that just press the filling inside like this, and then just take a little bit of the paste again, wet your fingers, and then just apply it like this, and then just bring down the rest of the rice flour that's there and seal up the top of it so that the filling doesn't come out when we are steaming it. So I'll just show you one more, and also see that your steamer is ready. And then we're just going to place them on the steamer, on the cloth which we have dampened a bit in the steamer. Close the steamer up, and we're going to steam this for about 10 minutes and let the steamer cool completely before you open it. So here you can see that I'm placing it in my steamer, and I'm going to close up the steamer and keep it for 10 minutes. I always put a timer on my phone, that way I know that it's like 10 minutes. Then I keep it closed till it's nice and cool down. And here you can see the lovely holles are all ready. The color of the leaves have changed to a darker green. As you can see, the ones which are not steamed are light green, and once they are steamed, they change to a darker green color, or an olive green color rather. So in this way, they are all ready. Now they're nice and cool and I can handle them. They were very hot initially. And now you just have to remove the toothpick like this, or the matchstick, whatever you've added, and then just demold it like this. It comes off very, very easily. So this has no oil, nothing. It's steamed, so it's so delicious and made out of really nice ingredients. So guys, do try out this recipe. It's super easy and super delicious. And it's nice to have them nice and hot or warm. So if you're going to store them in your refrigerator, store them in an airtight container, and when you want to eat them, just heat them up in a steamer again or in your microwave. So I can see they easily come off. The leaf comes off very, very easily.